Yeah, I actually don't know whether anybody knows that we've formerly were called Neofold Academy. We are still called Neofold Academy, but about the ingredients and the programs we were covering under the name Neofold Academy. And this was quite simple. It was quite a great combination of meditation, Wim Hof method, and MoveNet. But things changed quite a lot. That means that I'm not longer working for MoveNet, and I'm created something new. Our baby actually. There is meditation is something that is not that emphasized, because meditation is something that is very isolated and special, and we actually offer a product that is integrating meditation through the breathing aspect. And the last one, which was Andres mostly the go-to person, was the Wim Hof method, and it was also something that was not directly connected to the other two products, but we had a great concept that was perfectly suitable for retreats format and for getting people into different aspects of new approaches, and also very traditional approaches to dealing with today's problems like stress. But our unique chance is that we actually created our own product, and I think this makes it very, very important that we focus our full energy on this product, because it has nothing that can be put into the same category. It is something very unique. That means we decided, and our consciousness forced us to go for this product and make the best out of it. And this is why we also changed the name in Human Movement Academy, because it's all about human movement and what comes in the afterwake of it.
That was a great answer, a lot better than mine. Let me add to that that we still have a lot of stuff. So breathing is still a big topic, but in the context of movement, like Bernd said, the concept is still perfectly good for retreats, and there you will also have a cold exposition and all these different things. But like Bernd says, the focus is now on this beautiful tool that he has developed, that we have developed into existence, that can really bring you from the ground up into your human movement potential, so to say, right? So let's dive into that. I want to go really strongly into the content aspect. And if you like, Bernd, we can start with the first question, which is the building blocks of the Human Movement Academy in their main program. What is NSD and what is NGM? You can start with NGM.
Okay, maybe I start better with a Human Movement Academy to start it from the top to bottom. So Human Movement Academy will be our new name, actually. And the Human Movement Academy has a product, and this product is called Human Movement Restoration. And the background of this is that we are not starting somewhere and ending in the middle, or we're starting in the middle and ending at the end. We wanted to write the whole story of human development, and this then flows into the name Human Movement Academy. Also, the academy is something that is important to pronounce, that we are not just offering a product that is good for buying and training after it. It's a complete new way of looking at fitness, and this is why we are very happy to be able to create a certification program that will be first in the trainer area, and then later in the certification coach area. But this gives the whole name of Human Movement Restoration the reason of existence. And to make it not more complicated, but make it more easy to understand it, that we are focusing one part of the whole system on the ground and the way to get up from the ground. And we have a second part that is not something that comes after it, but something that's actually overlapping. And that's the natural skill development. And due to my 10-year experience of being a natural movement coach, specifically on MoveNet, which is teaching higher movement skills, where the most simple thing is crawling and the most complicated or complex thing is vaulting. It was necessary to revamp this whole product and bring into the same philosophy as the natural ground movement, because as we said, this is nothing that can be separated completely. This is something that is deeply interconnected, and this is why we had to differentiate between something that is more for the beginner or more that is more for people who have existing problems because of the lifestyle, the sedentary problems. And there is a second phase, which is then the thing we can build upon the natural ground movement thing, and that's the skill development that is about the same philosophy, but just a different a kind of movement complexity.
Okay, awesome. If I can add one thing there, that's a great overview. So as you see, what we are doing is you have the different stages in which humans learn the movement and build the basis for higher movements, like Bernd was saying about higher skills and working on the ground. And this platform that we have, this is something that we share among humans, and it's something that we can rebuild, that we can reactivate, that we can go deeper into it. And that's why this part is such an important aspect of the whole philosophy, right? To rebuild the basis, to really build from the bottom up, from the base up into movement. And that's something that is at the core of the whole concept. And then you have, of course, what comes next, because nobody wants to stay a baby, right? So we gain this basic this platform for movement, and from there you can develop in a lot of ways. And the Human Restoration Project, because we are the Human Movement Academy, deals with how humans develop movement also in those later stages after developing that platform. So yeah, that from my side. I think this is a great bridge to go into more detail into the NGM and NDS. Would you like to expand a bit more on those two concepts?
Yeah, we are talking about the developmental milestones. This is the structure of the whole system, and this developmental milestones thing is normally the way children develop movement from birth until about 3 years, and we don't want to evoke the thought that we want to go back to a baby stage and want to behave like a baby. No, the decisive thing is, and this is what also separates us, or not separating us, differentiating us from the normal fitness approach, is that we have a clear road what humans need to be able, because there is a human story, an instinctive and evolutionary one, that is bringing us into physical capabilities that are necessary to grow in a vital and a fit and also healthy way as grown-ups. That means we are not going for adding something that is maybe a scientific proof of improving some part of your body. We are actually adding stuff that got lost through growing up in an artificial world and getting depleted of things that are fundamentally necessary for the function of our organism. And the great thing is that we have a clear roadmap that tells us that you have to be able to do this. If you're not able to do this, you run into the risk of injury or performance limitations. And this is what the natural ground movement system is about. It's not like picked up stuff from scientific proofs and put together in a trendy and nice way to do fitness training. It's actually the stuff that is necessary for the human fitness as an evolutionary and developmental asset. And we are going for the weaknesses and not for the strengths we already developed. And this is the most important part of the natural ground movement system.
That's an awesome way of looking at it. I think this also embodies this idea of filling up the gaps that we have in the development. And in my experience, for example, I was also had, like many of us, right, a lot of sedentary um, habits, sitting bad, the whole thing, right. And then I went starting to movement. I'm also I've been doing movement for a long time, and I was greeted by injuries, right? So my body, the way I was structuring my body with my daily movement was was creating limitations that when I went into higher skills in movement, for example, developed into injuries. And I had to retrack all my steps to come back to the basics to understand that the mobility of my shoulder was also restricted because of the way I was putting my head every day. So, like really the basic stuff. And these protocols that we have developed over the last, I don't know, 6 years at least, doing live training, and Bernd has been a master mover for a longer time than that. And that all comes out of that. And it has been my experience that as soon as you can fill up those fundamentals here, everything that you put on top, I've been doing Spartan races, I've been doing martial arts, I've been, whatever you are doing right now, whatever your passion is, that's going to not only make it better, but it's also going to give you a tool that can compensate. For example, if you like a lot of tennis, well, now you have a tool that you can create to also put in the left hand, and that you don't have any imbalances. It's very versatile and very dynamic in different ways. Let us speak a bit more about the skill development part. So the 0 to 3 years old with the developmental milestones, that's the natural ground movement aspect, right? It happens mostly in the ground or getting out of the ground, right? And then we also have this next stage, which is more the natural skill development, right? And tell us more about that.
Exactly. Yeah. So then the natural skill development is a second part of it. And we can say that the natural ground movement part is the necessary part. It is the stuff that every human need to be able to master in the end. The natural skill development part is something like an optional part. That means if you are able to stand up from the ground and experiment with diverse movements that we call sports, like throwing and catching and lifting and jumping, like little children do in a playful way, then the natural ground movement part is completely sufficient. But if you want to tell the full story, that means that we spent about 99% of human existence was a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, and this hunter-gatherer lifestyle was producing people that were able to do superhuman physical accomplishments. We nowadays just know highly specialized athletes that are able to run 9 seconds on 100 meters or throw a spear of 100 meters distance. So we are actually able to do very skillful and high risk movements. And this would be the full story. We have a part that is necessary, and we have a part that is optional. And if we apply this to everybody's needs, then we have people that are not very into fitness training. They maybe have not found anything that fits their time frame, or their wishes, or their whatever they are good in, or whatever reason. They have a great way to develop their fundamental fitness and physical competence in the ground movement area. But on the other side, we have people that are deeply involved into specialized sports or specialized tasks, like working. So we have a specific profile of movement, and we can break this profile of movement, like a high professional spear throw is one of the most complex movements humans can do. We can break this spear throw down to its fundamental elements that had been starting on the ground, and can find the aspects. There can be conditional aspects, or there can be mind aspects that are filling up the gaps that are may hindering them for higher performance, or always put that stopping signs in between because of injuries. So that means with the natural ground movement stuff and the natural skill development stuff, we are covering the whole human possibilities and can catch everybody wherever he is, high specialist athlete or a completely deconditioned person in all of the possibilities. We can find for everybody the optimal road or red streak where he can work on his needs. Yeah, they can be fundamental, or they can be quite luxury. By I want to have a new world record. That's all the same story. It's the development of human physical competence.
Exactly. So I think here is also again like a bit the question, like what are you training for, right? So if you look at your daily life and the daily movements that you're doing every day, like bending over to picking up something from the ground, or you're walking towards the bus station, or you're lifting your kids, all these movements are in this fundament that we are talking about. All these movements get trained, get potentiated, get oiled up, right? Because if you want to pick up your child and he's like, I don't know, maybe 5 kilo, 10 kilo, you're going to have some dynamics to be able to perform that movement without injuring yourself. And these things are things that you have to integrate into your daily life. And it's a different type of training that if you are training to do a marathon, or if you are doing a yoga class, or if you are training to be a high performer athlete. And the reason why this works for everybody is because it doesn't matter in what stage of your movement life you are, the bases are shared by all humans. That's exactly the point, right? So we are going back to the source of the movement in terms of humans and how we develop it, to be able to retrace everything. Because that's also super interesting. Everything that you do and everything that you see at the higher level, the most complex physical skills, you can trace back to a movement into the ground, right? And this is exactly what we've structured and what we are putting together in the community that we have created. More into detail in terms of how we can use the method to help different people with different conditions, right? So say, for example, we have somebody that has a relatively sedentary life in the sense that he has a 9 to 5 work every day. He may be already moving or not, but he has for some reason, I don't know, problems with his back, right? Lower back pain, something like that. What would be the approach under the Human Movement Academy and under the Human Movement Restoration thing that we would have with such a person?
Yeah, okay. So I have some insights about the conventional way to treat these people, because this was actually the most important part of my studies, and also the most important part of my years working in fitness studios in combination with orthopedists and people who had real problems like prolapse and all things you can think of. And so the problem is that somebody who is feeling already the problems of sitting too much has two possibilities. One is that he's waiting until something is happening that is so grave that he has to go to the doctor or orthopedist, which brings him to the normal route which brings him through the conventional route of getting to an orthopedist, getting some physiotherapeutical treatments, and from the experience of most physiotherapists, people come back. Yeah, they get physiotherapeutic exercises. They change normally nothing in their daily habits that led up to this problem, and it's getting into a circular habit, physiotherapy pain-free. So there's nothing that is actually working against the original problem, and this is the sitting movement or being sedentary. The second possibility is somebody who is already feeling there is a problem and is already reading and is already getting feedback from other people that you can do something against your back pain. There is a good personal trainer, there is a good fitness studio, go there, they will help you. Okay, you go there, you tell them you have a problem, and they give you standardized programs. In the fitness studio, you get standard programs like in machines, like on the floor with your own body weight, with a bit of gadgets that help you with a technical invention to get rid of the problem. And the same thing is happening. The problems will come back, or the problems even get worse. Because in both cases, the person gets on the one side not the information of your sedentary lifestyle is the fundamental problem, and as long as you're not facing this situation new, you will always fall back into the old problem. The other one is that you are not getting any exercise or anything that is actually working on the root cause. The normal way is, okay, your back muscles are too weak, your front muscles are too strong, and now we're going for some balancing this out. But this is not the answer. The answer is that you are in an unnatural lifestyle, in an unnatural situation, and you cannot expect that the problems that occur out of this can be treated with an unnatural exercise, with an unnatural tool, with an unnatural approach. Unnatural means isolated, unnatural means symptomatic, and unnatural means no technical gadget can help you in the end. What is your own responsibility to take care of yourself, because you know where the problem is and you are in your all-day life and have the time or the need to do something against it. So what is definitely necessary is that from our perspective, you are suffering a sitting position. And you have to neutralize these artificial effects on the sitting position through natural movement. This means the natural regulation, self-organization of your body is cut or is destroyed. And if you are not able to bring this natural working of your body back to a specific level, you will always fall back because you're not working on the root causes, you're working on the symptoms. And this is the most important part of our approach. That means whatever you do is maybe good for you. Maybe you do it because of a reason, but you need to respect that there is your nature that is suffering under it, and you cannot just work on getting the symptoms. You need to give your body the stuff back that is responsible for the suffering, for the pain, and for the problems. And this is what we do. That means we can. This has as a consequence. We can help the person that has sprained his ankle. We can help the person that has problems because sitting too much. We can help the person that has never done any movement before. We can help the person who is a soccer player and is having specific problems in the shoulder or in the hips, because of, in all of these peoples, a natural aspect of human movement got lost or is completely missing. And it needs to be filled up. And this is by bringing you back to where this stuff started to disappear and building this up again in a way your body can adapt and also can digest all this stuff. So we are not adding something that is completely exaggerating or overdoing your possibilities, but we're bringing you to a state where your body is able to learn and is able to remember and is able to not forget the stuff, because it's actually part of his nature and not something that he's never seen and will never see again, because it's a technical device that can just disappear from today to tomorrow. And this is not if you know how to treat your own body.
Exactly. That's an awesome way of looking at it as well, because at the end, what you have as well is, for example, a sitting position that you take too much, that you use too much, that you're always stuck in the same sitting position. How many different sitting positions are there? How can you transition between those sitting positions? How can you transition from a lying position into a sitting position? So all these details, we're not talking about pinpointing one weak muscle or something like that, but this is what it means to work holistically in the
Right,
movement
exactly.
terms.
Andres, when sorry for interrupting you, but think about this. You are sitting on a chair 8 hours, and I think most of the people are so involved in their work, they are just sitting. This is an art in itself. Being hours of sitting, not taking into respect what your body is actually made for, and your body is made for getting out and moving, and not sitting like a stone while your brain is completely locked out into work. What we want is that you are not doing this stationary thing and then walking to a fitness studio and work against, okay, there's hamstrings shortened, there is abdominal muscles decayed, there is lumbar spine muscles completely tight, and train all these isolated parts. Our approach would say, take every 20 minutes of a self-scan, look that, okay, there's another 20 minutes I was completely frozen sitting. And then take 1 minute to stand up, maybe sit down to the ground or sit on the chair in two different sitting positions. Take one leg up to the chair, take another leg down from the chair, turn a little bit around, just respecting your body's need for diversity, for adaptability, for variability. And then go back to work with a good consciousness of, okay, the most difficult stuff or dangerous stuff is neutralized now. My body is again a bit of calmed down, and I can go back to my duty. So the first thing we need to implant into people's minds is self-care and mindfulness of what you're doing. Because if you are just doing 1 minute of a neutralization of what have you done 55 minutes is on point, your health management in comparison to do this 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then take your bad consciousness to a fitness studio. Take 1 hour of whatever fitness trainer is telling you about. Here's back pain. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exercises. 1,000 people get the same. And let's see what comes out of this calculation. Yeah, this is the wrong approach. It's like one drop of water on a very hot stone. And what we do is we don't let the stone get hot originally.
Yeah, to begin with. Yeah, that's exactly the point. I think at the end you have this lifestyle that goes around it, and what we are also providing you are tools that adapt to your lifestyle, that you can do sessions that are longer, that are shorter, that have a concentration on rehabilitating maybe one part or making another part better or working on your pattern. So it has a lot of different aspects that you can include. And that's why we also do it in a community, because we understand that changing this, it takes time. It's a difficult thing to put into practice. And that's why we're training. We train with you every week. We have a lot of content also that you can be in your own time, dive in and learn everything about it. I'm kind of closing down now, Bernd. We've been talking for a bit. I don't want to overdo the framework, but I think we've covered a very good aspect of it. We're gonna keep doing this type of cues, of questions and answers. And one thing that is very important for us is for you to ask questions at the end. That's why the community is there. If you have a specific question, either to a problem that you have or a way of looking for a solution or whatever is in your mind that has to do with the movement, with the concept that we have, ask the question. We're going to answer to you, and we're going to, we're there together in the same boat. We just kind of found this awesome concept that we can put into the situation. All right. So thank you very much, and see you around.